Welcome to In the Kitchen with Dinah. Today we're making chimichurri sauce.
Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Gonna taste good, I know.
Well, welcome back. I'm so glad you're joining me today. If you heard me say chimichurri sauce and you're like, what's that? I have to say it is the most delicious sauce that I've ever made, and we drizzle it on our barbecued steak, definitely in the summertime. I'm gonna walk you through it today. It's so much better than like A1 or barbecue sauce or something like that. And it's got delicious flavors in it, and I hope you try it. I'm gonna show it to you today, and it's super easy to put together. So the first thing we're gonna do is measure out 2 tablespoons of vinegar. And I use the red wine vinegar just because it's more flavorful. Okay, 2 tablespoons. And into the bowl that goes. And then we need a 1/4 cup of olive oil, which is 2 ounces or 4 tablespoons. And you want to use the EVOO, the extra virgin olive oil, the really good stuff. It's kind of got a green hint to it. And I'm making this a couple hours ahead so that all of the flavors can marry, and you're just gonna leave it set on your counter, because if you stick it in the fridge, the olive oil kind of solidifies. So hang on to that. So the original recipe calls for shallots. I never have shallots on hand, so I'm just using a tiny bit of sweet onion, and we want 2 tablespoons of that. And you want these minced pretty small, because we're making a drizzle for your steak. All right, the next thing we need, and thinking about this chimichurri, it'd probably be really good on any grilled meat, but we especially like it on steak. All right, so the recipe also calls for 3 garlic cloves. Whew, that onion's killing me. Sorry about that. 3 garlic cloves. This one is gigantic, so I'm gonna use 2 just because they're so big. Just smack it. And you want a super fine dice on this too. This is probably one instance where I do use fresh garlic. It makes the world of difference. I don't notice it so much when I use the jar that I usually have, but this is one instance where I really notice it a lot. Let's get this finely diced again. All right, that looks good. All right, so we've got that in there. We also need a 1/4 cup of parsley, and I've just got some curly parsley here. So try to get, I mean, if you got stems in there, that's totally fine. I'm taking some of the bigger ones out. Sometimes they're tough. All right, I'm sure I have more than a 1/4 cup here, but I'm gonna just use that much there. And the next thing, we have some chili flakes, and we want a 1/2 teaspoon. It says 1.5 teaspoons. I'm just gonna put the rest in there. And then we got 1 teaspoon of oregano. I have ground, so I'm gonna use like a 1/2. It should be the dried flakes, but I didn't have any, so I'm gonna just cut it back a little bit. All right, and some pepper. Probably close to a teaspoon of pepper. And about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can always add more, remember, but you can't take away. So let's do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And certainly last but not least, we need the zest of the whole lemon, and then I'm gonna juice 1/2 of it. So just get your grater out and zest your lemon.
The lemon like lifts it out of the bowl.
The lemon, you got the olive oil, you got the vinegar, and all the herbs. It is really, really delicious on a steak. Okay, there's the lemon. All right, so there's the juice of half, and that's gonna go in. So good. Then we're just gonna give it a whisk. Whisk. I think that's a fun word to say. And it is on the chunkier side. I honestly think that was a little lemon. I'm gonna add the other half of it. Because that's merely a tablespoon per half. That looks better. All right, so we're just gonna let this chimichurri sauce sit on the counter. We're gonna go throw our steaks on the grill. And then when we come back, you're gonna want to let your steaks sit for a minute, slice them, and we just drizzle this down the steak. And then we eat it up. It's so delicious and refreshing, especially in these summer months. So I'll see you back when the steaks are done. All right, the steaks are hot off the grill. And if you can, let them set for a minute. These have been setting now for just a minute. You want to cut the big ones, the little one?
Cut them all. Cut them all.
I'm just gonna slice it. Normally, I just do this on my plate, but if you had a flank steak or something like this, you'd slice it this way, but show you how pretty it is. See if I can tip it out all fancy like. Then you're just gonna take some of this amazing chimichurri sauce. Just drizzle it down like this. Oh my gosh, you guys, this smells so good. And then you eat it. Hey, thanks for joining me today as I showed you how to make chimichurri sauce. I sure am happy that you were in my kitchen with me today because sometimes it's a bit lonely and on the grill. So I hope you guys try this. We got lots of holidays coming ahead this summer, and just because your family's around, make this chimichurri. It's so good on steaks and grilled meat on the barbecue. I want to say, give me a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys on the next episode. Until then, have a great day.
Okay, she knows the drill.
There you go. So some of you, oh, I should start over. Clean up aisle 5. Oh, this smells so good. I shot myself in the eyeball.
Oh, you're making the camera wiggle. Don't do that. Oh man, it smells good all together now.
I need a fork. And my tongue. Should we try that over again?
Yeah.
Gonna taste good, I know.